Nikon NIKKOR Z DX 16 to 50mm f2.8 VR review. The truth about constant f2.8 for DX. Have you ever felt your lens was the only thing holding your camera back? You frame a beautiful low-light portrait or a moody interior, but the image just lacks that separation and clarity you imagined. It's frustrating. A friend once showed me two nearly identical shots, one flat and one alive, and the only difference was the lens. That realization stings. The Nikon NIKKOR Z DX 16 to 50mm f2.8 VR speaks directly to that quiet limitation. Ready to see why it matters? If you shoot with a DX Nikon Z body, you probably know the compromise routine. Variable apertures that force you to raise ISO as the light fades, backgrounds that refuse to blur the way you pictured, handheld shots that look sharp on the screen but soften once you zoom in. It adds up. One photographer told me she loved her compact setup for travel, but dreaded indoor events because she knew she'd hit the limits fast. That subtle hesitation changes how you shoot. You avoid certain scenes, you skip that twilight portrait, you step back instead of getting closer. Over time, creativity shrinks to fit the gear. But here's the hopeful part. When a lens removes those small barriers, you shoot more freely, experiment more boldly, and stop calculating every exposure compromise in your head. Here's what actually works. The Nikon NIKKOR Z DX 16 to 50mm f2.8 VR gives DX shooters a constant f2.8 aperture across a versatile 16 to 50mm range, equivalent to 24 to 75mm on full frame. Don't just pick any APS-C zoom lens. Make sure it has a constant f2.8 aperture and 5.0 stop VR, so you never experience muddy low-light images and inconsistent exposure again. That bright aperture means smoother background blur and consistent brightness as you zoom. The 5.0 stop lens shift vibration reduction lets you shoot handheld at slower shutter speeds with confidence. I once shot a dim cafe interior at 16mm wide open, and the frame looked crisp without pushing ISO too high. Later, at 50mm, a portrait popped beautifully against a soft, rounded bokeh background. The 9-blade circular aperture helps there. The STM autofocus is quiet and smooth, making it equally comfortable for video. And at just 330 grams, it feels almost invisible in your bag, which subtly changes how often you bring it along. Quick check. Are you chasing better low-light control or better subject separation? Either way, this lens covers both without forcing you into full frame. Trust builds when performance repeats. Reviewers consistently highlight the sharpness across the frame and the rare constant f2.8 design for DX. One expert described it as Nikon's answer to crop sensor shooters who want pro-level optics without stepping up to full frame. Another praised the effective stabilization, noting clean, sharp images in challenging light. In real-world use, the 12-element design with ED and aspherical elements reduces color fringing and distortion in a way you notice immediately. I personally found edge detail stronger than expected at 16mm wide open. That says something. The dust and drip-resistant construction also adds quiet confidence outdoors. If you've tried other standard zooms and felt underwhelmed, you'll likely notice the difference quickly. The Nikon NIKKOR Z DX 16 to 50mm f2.8 VR transforms your DX camera from capable to confidently creative. It brings low light strength, beautiful background separation, and reliable stabilization into one compact, everyday package. Many photographers are already choosing it as their primary walk-around lens for portraits, travel, and video. Join them. I've dropped my link in the description and pinned it. Just click and see for yourself. Sometimes the biggest upgrade isn't the camera body, it's the lens that finally lets it shine.
For demo videos and current pricing, check the link in the description.